What's up everyone, Fred here. This video is going to be a Mac OS X video introduction for Windows users. A lot of my subscribers actually consider Macs or want a Mac, and this video is going to be basically about everything they need to know about the operating system so that they will understand everything about it. So let's get started with the video. There's going to be no structure to this at all. I'm just going to be talking about everything I've learned in the past few months and basically what's interesting and what's not very interesting. So let's start off from the top left corner. Now I can zoom in using Control and Scroll with my mouse so that you know basically what this is. I'm going to use this through the whole video. It's built in Mac OS X. So this Apple logo here is about this Mac. Well, it's basically the start menu on Windows, except it does not have the application. So yeah, about this Mac, software update, Mac OS X software, system preferences, dock options. The dock is this thing here. Then we have recent items. We have force quit, sleep, restart, shut down, and log out. Very simple. And now next to that, we have the software that we're currently in. Currently we're in Finder, which is the Mac equivalent to Windows Explorer. So you can browse files and all that. So if we launch Firefox now, it says Firefox up there. And you can go into Firefox preferences, and we can go in and view bookmarks and all that in Firefox. So it's basically save space instead of having the file, edit, view, all that up here inside of the window. You have it up there instead. So it kind of saves a lot of space. So over here, we have Spotlight. This basically searches your computer for everything there is. Let's search for Google. So that's the top hit is an application, Google Chrome. Now there is the definition, the word, the verb, the applications, and some files that I have. Now next we have the time and date. We have volume control. We have Wi-Fi, which is basically called Airport in Mac OS X. Bluetooth, Time Machine. I'll get to that later. MobileMe, a syncing software that you pay Apple for. It's every year. It's $100, I think. It's 72 euros. And then we have ScreenFlow, what I'm using to record right now. VMware Fusion and Better Touch Tool is what I use in my mouse to activate Expose and other applications. Now I'm going to name a few things you might not know, but I'm going to get to all that later on. So okay, now let's start off with the dock here. So this is the dock, and it has trash, it has documents, it has applications. Well, you can have some different folders you want here. And over here we have the applications. So if we launch applications, you have all the applications that are installed on your computer. Here you have system preferences, basically the equivalent to control panel. We launch it. It is all built in right here. You can go on displays, and we'll see all the displays that are here currently. So the iMac I'm using has a 2560 by 1440 resolution, and we can go and color and we can calibrate and all that stuff. And basically all the options are inside of this one window, which is very, very cool. And it works very well. So if we want magnification on our dock, we can just do that, and it's going to magnify. Then we have basically these are options, all of it. I'm not going to get into that. That's a lot of stuff. So if we let's start about instances or running applications. If you close a window on Windows, it shuts down, the process ends, the application is no longer running. Now look here in Mac OS X. If there is no light underneath any of these applications except for ScreenFlow, that means this light means that it's running. We just close Firefox and yet the light is still running. So let's open up, and it opens really, really fast. Now if you were to quit it, which we can do in Command Q or click and quit, Command Q. You've unsynchronized bookmark. Do you want to synchronize them now? Yes. Okay, see now the light goes away, and now it takes a little longer for it to launch. Now the process or the thing basically launching it while it's still running is called quick launch, and it is basically very useful if you want to quickly get back to an application, and it doesn't really take a lot of your RAM, so that is very good. Now then we have, let's start off with what we have on our desktop. Here we have the drives that are inside the computer. So if we were to insert a disk, it's going to show the disk. We also can have items on the desktop just like on Windows. But I prefer to just have my drives and have my desktop really. I don't like to have any applications or folders or anything on my desktop. I prefer to just have these drives. So if we want to So if we were to insert a disk, as I said, it's going to show the disk. If you insert a memory stick or a USB stick, it's going to show the USB stick, so all the drives, and it has very good integration. Now let's launch Finder. You can see all the devices that are running. iDisk is the MobileMe hard drive on the internet, online hard drive. And Time Machine backups. Let's get to Time Machine here. Time Machine basically does that if you launch it, go in, and it's going to lag a bit because I'm filming. Now it's a lot more smooth when I'm not filming, but you can go back in time and see how all of your folders have ever been and how they have looked through time. You can go all the way to when I got my iMac, which was in December 2009, and we can go all the way there, and then we can go back to now. Now there are a lot more of these than it actually shows right here. So if you want to, for example, if you have deleted a file, you can go back to the time where you last had it, or you can search for it, search for whatever the file was. It's going to find the file, and you can just click restore. It's going to come back with it, and you restore it. It works through an external drive, and it backs up everything you have. So it's a very, very good utility. You can, I mean, I love Time Machine. It's saved me countless times, and now it's in March. And I got this in December, so well, it's been a while, and it hasn't been that long really, and it has already saved me that many times. So next up is applications that come with macOS 10. Now the applications on macOS 10 are very famous because they are very well integrated, and well, they are really, really good generally. So we have Mail, a very good email client, and it works. It works very good. It works with Push for MobileMe, and it has all the mailboxes in one, which I find very useful. As we have Address Book, we can synchronize that with our iPhone or MobileMe and a lot of other stuff. Iphoto is very useful. It's a photo management program. It doesn't have very powerful editing capacities, and it basically does that. You have faces and places, and it automatically checks who are in this photo. You name the people, so I'm going to say name a few photos. Is this person? Is this that other person? You say yes. You say yes. You say no if it's not. Then it's going to become better and better at recognizing those people, and you can quickly associate them and get back into folders. iMovie, a fairly good movie editing program. It is very, very good, and works well with Garageband, which is to make loops and small sounds, and also very, very good to play instruments in. It also has a built-in tuner for your guitar, which is very useful as well. Then we have iTunes, makes it speak for itself, but iTunes on macOS 10 is very different because even when you close the instance, just close it down, it's still running. So you can just have it in the background. The integration with iTunes is very good. iCal is a calendar. ScreenFlow is what I'm using right now. Tweety is a Twitter client. Now for all these applications, I have a video called What's in My Dock to see the more details. So these are all the people that I'm following, and you can just quickly see what has been written. Then I'm going to close this, and here we have NetNewsWire, a RSS reader that connects with Google Reader, and well, yeah, it works very well. We have Microsoft Word, speaks for itself for Mac. We have Skype, we have Time Machine, and System Preferences. So next up is how I actually got these here. I forgot to mention that, and the options in the Finder. So up here we have different views. We have this icon view. We have list view that works like this. We have this kind of view that basically click desktop, then folder, you know, you basically get the gist. Then we have cover flow, which is going to, I did not want to go into desktop. I wanted to go into here. Here we have all the different folders. You can just quickly get to them, kind of like on iTunes and on your iPhone. Now, if you want a quick look how much space it is taking up, 16 kilobytes, no items. And here we have new folder, open, move trash, get info. Get info is basically so you can see how much space it is taken. If you want to rename the file, it's very powerful. Another thing is keep arranged by name. That's what I do. And we also have show view options. Now what that does is how much you want each icon to take up. So I have the icon size 64 by 64 grid spacing. I don't know how much that is, but it's about there. Text size 12, label position bottom. Show item info. That's basically how many items are in each and how much space it is. You can do that for the desktop. Then it will show how much space each thing takes up. Arranged by name, a background, a white color picture, and use as defaults. So I will zoom out, and I can do the same in the desktop. Right click, show view options, and you can choose the options here as well. So system preferences. You may actually have to know a little bit about the keyboard and mouse because they are integrated in a very different way, especially the keyboard. So the Magic Mouse is very useful. I love it. Thanks to Better Touch tool, what I can do is I swipe up twice and activate something called Expose. I'm going to explain a little better later on. And what it does is I can quickly take the window one in front, click, and that's where it is. You can get to them very quickly like that, and I use this all the time. Just 2-finger swipe up, and that's how you do it. 2-finger swipe down hides my desktop, and I quickly get to a file or something that is over here. For example, I have something blocking there, and just hide and get it. I don't use that as often, of course. So you have all of your options over there, and 2-finger swipe left, right to navigate. You can navigate between pictures. As you can see here in Apple's little animation, we have screen zoom, hold control in, you scroll, and it zooms in. Now we have scrolling, just normal. It works all with touch, very useful, and it works great. It just works great, I think. I have no complaints about it. I have something to keep my hand up so it doesn't feel like it's so small as some people say. It does have right click as well. Now, what Expose basically is you can add shortcuts or hot corners is what I call it. If you take your mouse over here, actually it's Expose, but Better Touch tool, as I have here, is a lot more useful, and it gets the job done much better, and it's just so much better. Now, Expose is, well, since you don't have icons, yes you do, but it's much, much easier like this. So spaces is something that I use pretty often. Now to activate spaces, I say F16, sorry. And what it does is you can just choose any space, and you have multiple desktops basically, and you can just hide something you're doing there. If you have, for example, a Word document or something they don't want your sister to see, because my sister always comes in and it's kind of annoying and invades my privacy. So I quickly hide with the hotkey Alt and arrow key. So as you can see, Alt or Option and arrow key. I've chosen to have 4 spaces, and I sometimes use it as I read mail and web browsing in one. I watch a movie in one, and I do some web designing in another one, and I do some video editing in another one. It's just random. I don't use it that much, but it can be very useful. So anything other interesting? Well, there is a lot. We have the application that I have here. It's Growl. It basically is a notifier. I don't use it yet because I don't really need it that much, but I have it in case I decide to use it one day. And it just gives some notifications up here about. I'm actually going to show you. So start Growl. Growl is running. Show applications, display options, preview, and this is basically what it looks. It has this smoke thing that says new email on Gmail or something. New email on Gmail, and that's pretty much how it works. So I'm going to shut that off later on. Then we have Perion. It makes all the Windows codecs. That means AVI files, WMV files. It all runs inside of QuickTime, which is Mac's movie players with iTunes. Then we have Secrets. I use that to edit a bit my Mac inside to tweak it a little bit, make it a bit faster. Now next up is the keyboard. I have a keyboard review, so you may know what keyboard you'd want to get. So I have both a wireless and a numeric keypad wired keyboard, as you can probably see. And basically what's really interesting about these is the integration with the buttons over here. It has eject, it has sound up, sound down, it has mute. You can just quickly get to all that here. Play, next chapter or next song or something, or back. Then you have some you can use option for anything. Dashboard, I'm going to get to that later. Expose, this. Then you have brightness up, brightness down, and then we have escape. So it works like that in OS 10 instead of using it all manually. You have the volume over on your keyboard. Actually, it's very useful in my opinion. So what we were talking about was dashboard. Dashboard is hotkey F4 by default at least. And you have all these small applications, basically small widgets. And what they can be used for is anything you really like. So I have time in Brussels and New York. Brussels is where I used to live, and I don't know, I just prefer them in Brussels instead of Germany. And it does that, I can see what time it is there. I can see what time it is in New York, so I know when to upload. Then I have a currency converter, I have a stopwatch, I have some really good information about my my computer, my internet connection, all that. It's right here. It works very well. Although this is not, these two do not come with the with OS 10. I've installed them from a third party. Then we have calculator, a dictionary, and stocks, weather. For some reason it says Cupertino, which I think it's in Italy. I have no idea. And then you have notes. Just write anything you want. Just say upload this video this day or something, or I just use my calendar for that. So it worked. So dashboard is actually very useful. You quickly get used to it all on OS 10. So let's go ahead and go through some of the other applications that come with OS 10. So we have address book, we have automator that can be used to activate some screensavers or something by clicking it, weird and use it. App cleaner is to completely remove an application instead of just dragging it out. I'm actually going to get to that later on as well, as I actually forgot to do that. Cabos, a video, I made a video review on that, or I'm going to, I'm not sure, but I'm going to upload first. Paradise tool, I did that. Calculator, a chess game, Cyberduck, an FTP client for your website to transfer files to your website host. Dashboard, developer for the iPhone SDK, I'm trying to get into that. A dictionary, a DVD player for DVDs. An extra sheep, a screensaver thing that works online, and then their screensaver comes to you, so you don't really know what you're going to expect. Final Cut Express, a very good editing program, just a trial. Then we have Firefox, font book to get some fonts. Firefox is my favorite web browser, I use it all the time. Surprisingly, it has less crashes than Chrome, at least on Mac. I think it's a lot more reliable. I've never had that many. I haven't had many problems with it. It has all the add-ons I need, so it's basically the perfect web browser for me. Garageband did that. Front row is basically it takes up your whole screen. You can't multitask and do something else at the same time. It's just a cinema. You can watch a movie or something like that. Font book, you just choose different fonts. Handbrake is an application I have to take my DVDs and put the files on my iPod. Very useful. iCal is a calendar. iChat works with AIM, .mac.me or @me.com, and basically it's a chat program that has video, kind of like Skype, although it doesn't have, I don't really know people who use it. So I have iDVD, a ripping program for DVDs. Image capture takes images. iMovie did that. Iphoto did that. iSync syncs photos. I have no idea what it actually does. I never used it. Then you have iTunes, iWeb does some basic HTML, not very good. iWork is we have Keynote. That's pretty much a PowerPoint, although I think it's more powerful. It's just not very well integrated with. I mean, Windows computers can't read the formats for mostly. Then we have pages and numbers. It's for graphs and all that, and that is I'm not actually sure. So we have live type. That is something to edit your text. I'm not sure with all these applications. Never use them, and personally, I don't really find them necessary to know what they do. Microsoft Silverlight, something for the internet, so kind of like Flash. Some stuff uses. I install this just so I can have that Facebook client on my kind of like Fishbowl for Mac and on my Mac here. Mail, Microsoft Messenger for Mac, Microsoft Office for Mac. Photo Booth, that is actually a very famous program. If you know people on Facebook, they often use this. You can just go on Effects, choose a funny effect, and well, here you have one. And you can take multiple images, like 4 in a row, or you can record a movie. So very simple, and well, it's fun. It's fun if you have someone to do it with, which I don't have that much. Preview to preview files. RAR expander to expand RAR files. QuickTime Player, it reads files or reads movies, and it's a screen recorder as well. And Safari, the internet browser that comes with your Mac. Also, there is Google Chrome, Google's own web browser. ScreenFlow, what I'm using to record right now. Skype, Skype, a really good video calling client. I call my friends, talk to my friends, and chat with them there, and it has video and all that. So it's very good. TextEd, basically the equivalent to Notepad. System preferences, stickies, kind of like this. And going to quit it. Then we have Thunderbird, Mozilla, those who make Firefox, their email client. I'm not using it. I think Mail is better on the Mac. Then we have Time Machine. We have Tweety, what I showed you. Ustream Producer. I'm trying to get into live streams, but I have no idea. If you have a recommendation to what I could do live streams about, please post in the comments. Utilities. I'm going to get to that. uTorrent, a torrent client. VLC, I do that sometimes. Give files to my friends and all that. Well, you can use it for legal stuff, but I prefer not to do that. VLC, a media file. Basically, when I installed it, I could read files from my camera and gave me all these kinds of codecs, so it worked the whole thing. I never really use it itself, but all the codecs that it came with, I use all the time. VMware Fusion will make a video about it. I filmed it and exported it. I'm not sure when I'm going to upload it. So Ustream Producer is basically a desktop client for Ustream and live streams. So utilities, or was there something I wanted first? Oh yeah, there was, of course, the applications. No, applications are installed in a very different way on the Mac operating system. Let's try to install Firefox for a second. Firefox.com or Mozilla.org, actually. Works like that too. Okay, so here it says install Mac for Mac OS 10. And it has some instructions here as well. So what it's going to do is it's going to download a .dmg file, and what a .dmg file is basically a DVD. It's basically a DVD. It's like mounting a DVD drive on your computer, a virtual DVD drive. It contains all the files that you need. So while it downloads, I'm quickly going to get to the utilities parts. It's going to last a little while. This is just an update that I got to the wireless aluminium keyboard for Mac, or Mac aluminium keyboard. Activity Monitor is to the task manager for Mac. Adobe Air and installer, Adobe Air uninstaller. Airport utility to see some routers like time machine or time capsule, time machine. No, the time capsule is going to detect that. It's also going to detect items such as I have no idea what it's called, but the backup drive for Mac. No, not the backup drive. That's time capsule. But there was the Airport Extreme and Airport Express, the routers for Mac. Then we have Applescript Editor, does some scripting and I have actually no idea. Basically, input does some editing, kind of, I don't know, voice editing stuff, and kind of like in a studio, and a lot more amateur thing. File exchange over Bluetooth, boot camp assistant. It kind of divides up your drive to as much as you want to, and you can install another operating system such as Windows, Chrome OS, or Linux on it. Then we have color sync utility, and that is basically if you have problems with colors, I think. Console, kind of like the CMD or terminal as well, and console basically about the same. I think it's kind of like the command prompt on Windows. Then we have digital meter. A lot of these are not very useful. Disk utilities, see if something's wrong with your disk. You may have a virus or something's wrong with it, not being partitioned well, or if you need to do something with it. I never use a lot of these things. Expose, grab is to take screenshots. Grapher makes graphs, I think. Java preferences, keychain access. Keychain is all of your passwords that it remembers through keychain. Migration assistant to take your file from another Mac to this one. Network utilities, see the networks around you. Captures podcasts. Remote install macOS 10, so you don't need the install disk. Spaces, system profiler. It has all of your information about your Mac, your serial number, and all that stuff. Terminal, explain that. Voiceover utility. And I'm not really sure about some of these. I'm really sorry for that. I may be wrong about some of those, and maybe right about some of those, but most of them, or some of them, were actually guesses, and some of them were pretty obvious, or I knew about what they did. So, because my internet is dead slow, it hasn't downloaded yet, which is of course fun. So, I am going to pause the video, and I'll hope that you well, I hope you'll stay here. I'm already going to apologize for the extreme long video. It's nearly half an hour long, which is, well, of course it's that long. You need a lot of stuff. So, up until now, thank you for sticking with me, and sorry for the long video once again. So, the download is pretty much done. I just need, well, it's done. Nearly. So, we have here in my taskbar, we have 4 seconds left, 2 seconds left, 1 second left. Here it is. The DMG. So when it runs, nothing happens, just opening or off. Sometimes something happens, but not always. And it did happen. So as you can see here, there's a drive called Firefox. And of course, we do not have a drive that is called Firefox. We haven't been, okay, this is called Firefox. It contains Firefox. That's what it is. No, it's not. It's just a virtual drive. And basically, to install Firefox, what you do is you drag Firefox to any place on your system where you want Firefox instance to be running from. Always best out in the applications folder. So you can just drag it there if you want, or you can just, as I do, drag it on the desktop first, because I like to get the icon when you just directly drag to application. It doesn't get the icon here. Then I drag to applications, and it's installed, ready to run, and that's how it works. So if you want to eject a disk, such as the virtual drive, you drag it down to the dock where it says eject here. That's where the recycle bin was before. It's going to eject it. Now before you remove a drive such as an SD card, always remember to go down here and do that. So what I was saying about App Cleaner was, if you want to uninstall a program such as Thunderbird, what we do is we drop apps in here. It sees for all the files that have been associated with Thunderbird, and so far it can only see applications/thunderbird.app, which is the application that we just dragged in. It says delete, it deletes it. Sometimes you can find a little more, and you can also delete widgets from the from dashboard. Now a little thing I want to show you is all of the how to add some new widgets and remove them. When you click the plus here, you can remove them, or you can add some new ones, and you just drag them out, and there you get them. Very simple. And that's pretty much it for this video. I hope this helped you with some of your problems. And very sorry for the long video. And if you have any further questions, please ask me. I'll be happy to make another video like this. Hopefully not as long. So please comment, rate, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/FredNielsen. If you want to learn how to make a lot of money online, go to lotsoffreecash.tk, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for watching this video once again, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helped you. And if you want my recommendation, whether to get Mac OS 10 or not, I would definitely say get it, get it, get it. It is expensive, but I personally think an iMac is always worth it. It's fast, has OS 10, it has all the applications that I need. I think Tweety is basically a big time saver, so an application that I use all the time. The Windows does not have, such as Iphoto, iMovie, Garageband. I use those three as well. Integration with everything is just so much smoother, or smoother on OS 10. So once again, thank you for watching. Please comment, rate, subscribe, and have a nice day. And once again, thank you for watching all the way through. Bye bye.